And now we'll move on to slide number 3. You and your partner can decide whether you want the photo on the left or you want the photo on the right. We use the empty text box to help us position the photo. Let's start off with our title, and we need to refer back to our presentation planner where we were just typing our introduction from, and look at slide number 3, and it is the first of 2 slides for our first building. And you and your partner decided on the order of the building, so let's type in the building name. We were going to start off with the mining building, going from oldest to newest, I think. Maybe we'll say the mining building. So there's 2 ways we can add an image onto here. One is through the background. So we can try that out and see what we think, or we can just add an image and plop it on top here. So if we do background, the image will be in the background. Click on Image Choose here. So our images are actually all on Google Drive, which is very cool. And we're going to click on the Shared With Me section here. And we're going to look in the RockWalk class work, and then we need to find our school. Here we are, and our group, and look at that, images. This looks like our first mining building photo. We've got some other close-ups and stairs. So we have the 2 types of rock. So this is a great close-up of the red sandstone. So I'm going to select that. And once we add it to the background, we'll click on Done. And so now it looks like this. Interesting because we can still see a little bit of the theme, this computery theme gadget showing up a little bit, but we also have to read our text on top of the image. So maybe that's not suitable, maybe it is. Other than changing the color of the text, we can't add a outline or a drop shadow that would make that stand out better, and I don't know why we can't do that. We do have an undo button, so if there's something that you do that you don't like, we can undo it as many times as we need. The other way to add an image is to use this image button. Again, we're going to go to Google Drive, Shared With Me, RockWalk, Class, Group, and again I'll pick my close-up. Now when the image first comes in, it's obviously way too big, so we need to resize it. And we need to do this with the corners only. If we drag an edge, what happens is we distort the image. It gets squished. So I'm going to undo that with Command Z, and I'm going to grab a corner instead. I'm just going to make it kind of small to start, and then I'm going to get it exactly how I want. Now that I can see this text box that I'm going to copy the size of that text box with this image. I'm going to match up the top right corners like that, and I want it to be the same height. So I'm going to go back to this left corner now and drag down until it matches the height. Now it's too wide and we need to make it smaller, and one thing we could do is just drag it smaller, but again that squishes our image and distorts it. So I'm going to undo that. What we're going to do instead is crop it. So I'm going to right click on the image, choose crop image. Now if I grab the left hand side and I drag it over, and I'm going to wait till I don't see the red line, but I see those 2 blue lines, and that's telling me that my image is now as wide as the text box on the left and the text box underneath. Now this ghosted image is part that we're not going to see anymore. So if I click off of the image, I don't crop it anymore, and we see this part. I can double click the image if I want to go back, and I can slide the image back and forth. If I want to see more of these cracks, I can drag the image over and see that part instead. And maybe that's a bit more interesting. So that might be a little bit of a better way than the whole background, but it depends on your theme. It may work with your theme and what you want to do. Alright, that took a long time, but now you know your two ways of doing your images. Then we can add in our text. There we go, little description about sedimentary rock. And then we can go on to the next one. This is also the mining building, but this is our second slide. And I'm going to add in the image the same way. So I'm going to go to the image button. This time I'm going to look for the gray sandstone, so it's on the steps, so I can use a step photo, or here's a close-up of a step, and maybe since I did a close-up of the red, I'll do a close-up of the gray, and that's a pretty decent shot. And again, I'm going to resize from the corner so it doesn't get distorted. I'm going to match up, let's say, the top left corner. I want to match up the height, and then I'm going to right click on it, choose crop, and bring in my right side here so that I match up with, there we go, the width of that box. And I've done it opposite, so it makes it a little more interesting that the text and the images are going to swap, and I'll keep doing that as I work through my slides. Go right, left, right, left, right, left, and just for a teeny bit of variety. And I could write a little bit more if I wanted, but I'm going to keep it like that. So make sure you've completed up to slide 4 and watch the next movie.